Hey everyone, today is a huge day for both doll collectors and musical fans because we just saw our first looks at the Wicked the Movie dolls, and to celebrate I want to talk about them and look at them, but I also went ahead and I put together a little list of other dolls from very famous musicals. Now the dolls on this list and the musicals on this list are musicals that have been on Broadway and also happen to have a film adaptation as well, or vice versa. It was a movie that was adapted into a Broadway musical. And yeah, so the dolls are either directly inspired by the movie of the musical or the Broadway stage adaptation of the musical. But you know, again, either way, there is both a stage and a movie version of this musical. I hope that makes sense. Because there's lots of dolls out there for musicals, like Frozen, for example. There's tons of Frozen dolls for the movie Frozen, but I don't know if everyone knows that there are specific Broadway Frozen dolls that are specific to the Broadway musical. Same with a couple other musicals that we're going to talk about on this list. So yeah, I'm digging below the surface. We're not talking about every single Frozen doll. We're not talking about every single Beauty and the Beast doll, etc. We're looking at the ones that are specific to the Broadway musical for most of the dolls on this list. So I hope that makes sense. But without further ado, let's get into it. So yes, we're gonna look at the Wicked dolls, but there are some musicals that came before Wicked. This list is sorted by when the musical premiered. It may have premiered on stage or it may have premiered in film. Either way, we're going based off of the premiere date of the musical, not when the doll was released. With all the logistics out of the way, let's just get into it. And of course, lastly, I do have to say, there will be some dolls that I might have missed. So please leave a comment and let me know what dolls you think should have been on this list. But, okay, let's get into it. Okay, so the first musical that we are looking at is Meet Me in St. Louis. So this musical premiered as a movie in 1944, but would later be on Broadway in 1989. Now for this musical, we did get a beautiful doll of Judy Garland in one of the iconic outfits from the movie. This doll was made by Madame Alexander, I believe. And yeah, there might be more Meet Me in St. Louis dolls, but this is the one that I found, and I do think it's really gorgeous. I like the face sculpt. I think it looks like Judy Garland, and the outfit has lots of really nice lace details. I think this is a beautiful doll. So our next musical is Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. This musical premiered in 1949 on Broadway and would later be adapted into a movie in 1953 starring Marilyn Monroe. So we do have some dolls that are inspired by the movie, including these ones by Mattel. So we have one of Barbie as Marilyn wearing this iconic red outfit. We also have the same thing, but she's wearing the pink outfit. And then there's also some other dolls made by other companies replicating the iconic looks from the movie. Okay, next musical is Singing in the Rain. This premiered as a movie in 1952 and then later would premiere on Broadway in 1983. And I found these Madame Alexander dolls. These are small, like 8-inch dolls, I believe. But they're pretty cute. Those yellow rain jackets are adorable. So our next musical is My Fair Lady. This premiered on Broadway in 1956 and would later get a movie adaptation in 1964. Now the dolls we have are inspired by the movie. So here we have some from Mattel, and Mattel put out a lot of dolls for this movie in many of the different outfits. I think all of these dolls look very exquisite, very high quality, lots of different looks, and we even have a Ken doll for this movie too. So the next musical is Funny Face. Now, this musical premiered on Broadway in 1927. However, there's a movie that premiered in 1957, and it features 4 songs from the 1927 musical, and the plot is really different, apparently. But yeah, Funny Face. We did get some dolls by Integrity Toys, and these dolls look very stunning. We've got some in a couple different outfits, some different characters, it looks like. I don't know much about Funny Face the musical, but yeah, I figured these dolls are pretty enough for me to include them on this list. So the next musical is The Sound of Music. This premiered on Broadway in 1959 and would get the movie treatment in 1965. So we do have a doll from Mattel of Barbie as Maria from The Sound of Music. I'm not sure if there are other Sound of Music dolls. There probably is. But this is the one that I wanted to talk about. I think this is gorgeous. I love the floral skirt and the guitar and the hat. Very, very cute. So the next musical is Hello, Dolly. This premiered on Broadway in 1964 and would get a movie in 1969. Now this doll is inspired by the Broadway musical from 1964. Carol Channing played the lead role, and that is who the doll, I think, is meant to represent. And this doll is by NASCO, and I think it's a really cool doll. I love this feather hat. The red outfit is very pretty, and it just reminds me of like a classic early 1960s Barbie with that side glance face. Next musical is Mary Poppins. This premiered as a movie in 1964, but in 2006 we would get a Broadway adaptation for it, and I believe at the show, as a part of the merch that they would sell, there were some dolls. Well, I think there was one doll that they would sell of Mary Poppins wearing her blue outfit with this big bag, and she also has the umbrella. I think this is super cute, and I like that the packaging is sort of like the set. I remember the roof. I remember I saw this musical and that roof was a part of the set, and yeah, it was cool. And then they also have this extra outfit that you could buy separately for the doll. This pink outfit with the polka dots and the pink umbrella and the hat. So cute. Okay, our next musical is Mame. This premiered on Broadway in 1966 and would get a movie in 1974. Now, Tonner did release a doll to celebrate this movie or musical, and I believe this Madame Alexander doll was also made to celebrate the musical. Okay, our next musical is Grease. This premiered on Broadway in 1972 and of course would later get the movie in 1987. Now the dolls that we're looking at are inspired by the movie, and there's so many Grease dolls. For example, Mattel has put out so many different Grease dolls of so many different characters, many different outfits, and Franklin Mint would also release a Sandy doll in a couple different looks and outfits and costumes, and I think even a closet playset as well. So our next musical is Chicago. This musical premiered on Broadway in 1975, but in 2002 we would get the iconic movie, one of my favorite movies of all time. And to celebrate the movie, Tonner would release some dolls inspired by the musical. So we would get some dolls of Roxy, we would get some dolls of Velma, we even got a Mama Morton doll too, and lots of different costumes in many different looks. And yep, I would love to own these dolls too. I think they're so gorgeous and the outfits look really nice and very, very detailed. Okay, next musical is Annie. This premiered on Broadway in 1977, and then in 1982 we would get the movie. Now, these dolls right here, I believe, were made for the movie. So we would get these dolls. Who are they by? Knickerbocker. So these dolls are by Knickerbocker, and it's a part of a line called The World of Annie. And yeah, so these dolls are made for the movie essentially, but we would get some different characters, some different outfits too. So yeah, they had a whole line of dolls for this movie. Next musical is Dreamgirls. So this premiered on Broadway in 1981, and in 2006 we would get the movie starring Beyonce Knowles, Jennifer Hudson. Oh, such a great movie and such a great musical, and we would get some beautiful dolls, again by Tonner. They love to give us the movie musical dolls. So yes, these dolls, again, we would get some different outfits, lots of different looks, some of the different characters as well. Our next musical is Phantom of the Opera. This premiered on Broadway in 1986, and we would get a movie later on, but these dolls are primarily inspired by the Broadway musical. And so we would get some dolls by Mattel. Well, we would get one doll set by Mattel, and this is one of my Growl dolls. Phantom of the Opera is one of my favorite musicals. As cliche and unoriginal as that might be, it is one of my favorite musicals. And then also Franklin Heirloom, I think, right? Heirloom. And so I like this set too. We get Christine wearing her Angel of Music outfit, whereas the Mattel set is definitely the wedding dress that she wears at the end of the musical. Yeah, I want these dolls so bad. So our next musical we have is The Little Mermaid, and yes, Disney released the movie in 1989, but we would get a Broadway adaptation in 2008, and yes, so there's tons of Little Mermaid dolls. so many, but we're gonna look at the ones that were made for the Broadway musical. So yeah, we've got these two dolls right here, and these dolls are super rare. Very, very rare. So we've got this one right here that is wearing this outfit that is inspired by the costumes that they would wear on stage in the musical. So this doll has legs, but then behind her she's got that tail. And this doll looks really cool. Very, very detailed, a lot of different fabrics and material it looks like going on here. And then there's also this one. This one looks slightly more simple, and yeah, kind of just like a cohesive green color scheme going on. And I don't know if this is a look from the stage musical, but it is a doll that was released to coincide with the stage musical. So yeah. Next musical is Beauty and the Beast, and yeah, so the movie premiered in 1991, and then it premiered on Broadway in 1994, and yeah, there's tons of dolls for the 1991 Disney animated movie, but I'm not going to show you those today. I'm going to show you two dolls right here that were made for the 1994 Broadway musical. So one is by Mattel, this one right here, and it is so gorgeous. These red rose details on the dress, the hairstyle with the little ringlets, so gorgeous. This is a Belle doll that I want so bad, and above other like plainline bells or other kind of like, you know, special edition collector bells. This doll is so beautiful, and I love Broadway musicals, so that makes it even more special, and the packaging is cool too. And then there's also this doll right here, which I'm assuming might have been one that you could buy if you went and saw the show, either on tour or on Broadway. They might have been selling this doll. I could be wrong. But sometimes when you go and see a Broadway musical, they might have, you know, merch that you could buy. This might have been one of the merch items that you could buy, but again, I could be totally wrong. Yeah, so this one, we've also got this one too. This one doesn't look as deluxe as the Mattel one, but it still is cool, and I would still love to have this one as well. So our next musical is Aladdin, which, yes, we got the movie in 1992. We have tons of Aladdin dolls. But in 2014, Aladdin would premiere on Broadway, and we would also get a Broadway-specific Jasmine doll, and this one is incredible. This one is so beautiful. I love this pink outfit. It is so detailed. The face is gorgeous. She's got some nice articulation too. I would love to have this doll someday. Okay, our next musical is Hairspray. So Hairspray started off as a non-musical movie, and then in 2002 it would premiere on Broadway as a musical. And then in 2007 we would get the film adaptation of that musical, and along with the movie we got lots of dolls of many of the different characters, including Amanda Bynes as Penny, who I have right here. She comes with a bottle of hairspray and a little puppy, and she's wearing her green dress. I also have Zac Efron as Link in this black outfit. He's missing his jacket, but and he's supposed to be a singing doll too, I think. But yeah, I have him. He's a little messy, but yeah, he's so cute. And I think all the other dolls that came out for this movie are very cute. I would love to get more of them, especially this Tracy right here. She's so glamorous. So next, the musical that inspired this whole video, Wicked. Wicked premiered on Broadway in 2003. In 2024, we will get the movie. But so much has been released for Wicked. In 2018, I believe, Mattel released these special edition collector dolls of Glinda and Elphaba, wearing their iconic looks from the Broadway stage musical. We would also get some Madame Alexander dolls, also wearing looks from the Broadway stage musical. American Girl even released a costume set of looks from the stage musical that you could get for your dolls. But just now, we finally saw the first looks of the singing dolls from the movie that will be coming out later this year. So we saw the Elphaba and Glinda. We've got Elphaba wearing her Defying Gravity look and singing Defying Gravity. We've got Glinda wearing her look from Popular and singing Popular. And yeah, so these are on the slightly more budget end, I believe. These dolls don't have as much articulation, but they can sing, and they do have gorgeous face sculpts, I will say, especially Cynthia Erivo. I think this Elphaba doll, why is that so hard to say? I think this Elphaba doll looks so gorgeous. The face sculpt is incredible. I do like the Glinda as well. Something about her looks very soft and cute and kind of animated, whereas the Cynthia one really looks like her. I don't know how to explain it. Oh, one thing I will say, I do wish that, you know, since she's singing Defying Gravity, I wish she came with a broom. It even looks like her hand is sculpted to be able to hold something. Same with Glinda. It looks like her hand is sculpted to be able to hold something. I think it would have been cute if she came with a little mirror that she could hold, you know? Or even her wand. A wand would be cool too. So yeah, that is Wicked. Okay, and our next musical is Frozen. So yes, Frozen premiered as a movie in 2013, but in 2018, we would get the stage adaptation on Broadway, and to coincide with that, we would get these two very special Frozen dolls. So yes, of course, there's tons of Frozen dolls, but those are, you know, tied to the Disney movie. These ones right here are special to the Broadway musical, and they are very special. I think they look so stunning, and they're so different from any other Frozen doll that you could get for the movie. So this Elsa one is very pretty. She's got the platinum blonde hair with the braid, the sparkly, glittery, shiny blue dress. I want this one so bad. The Anna is really cool too. Her material looks very high quality. Yeah, and the faces on these are, you know, very human-like. They don't look like the cartoon characters that we're familiar with, so that's something that I do like about these dolls. But yeah, I really want that Elsa doll. She's so stunning. So that is it. That is my list. Let me know what your thoughts are on all of these dolls. Let me know if you have any of them. Again, let me know who did I miss? Who should I have included on this list? There's so many musicals and so many dolls for movies and for musicals, but these are the ones that I wanted to talk about today. And again, let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you're excited for the Wicked dolls. I sure am. But again, thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye.